Welcome everyone to our MasterBrew Monday, and as usual, we have a very special guest with us, the Penguin. No,
Right. Hello.
no, we have Mr. Jay Wilson from Corestarter, and for
Hey
those
guys, how
not
are you?
familiar, we will let Jay introduce himself. He'll do a better job than we will. So,
Oh, I don't know about that. So my name's Jay. I work for Corestarter, so we're a Solana-based launchpad, specialising cross-chain IDOs and INOs, and soon to be marketplace as well.
excellent. We'll
Very
say hi,
cool.
good morning to Mutski, who's
Mutsky.
usually first in our chat, usually first to say good morning every day.
What up, Mutsky?
Mutsky, how are you?
And yeah, I guess good thing to start with is we hear your marketplace should be coming out very soon. Maybe you want to tell people a little bit about that. What'll make it different than OpenSea? Hopefully, a lot. that's our word.
Yes, we're definitely not trying to clone anything. So the marketplace should be ready towards the end of this month. We're just finalising testing and making sure everything's ready to go on that. We've got a few projects which are pretty keen to list on there. The main difference, compared to a lot of other NFT marketplaces is we don't just open it for anyone. We still treat projects the same as we treat all projects. So we still complete DD, KYC, and make sure everything's, looked after so that the community that are purchasing NFTs are not rug pulled or deceived in any way.
Right.
Now, here's something I noticed, and maybe I didn't look at it enough, but I saw in Magic Eden, for example, when they host on their Launchpad projects, they hold the funds for 1 day. What does that really do? When you're thinking of, they do it for people's protection so there's no rug pull. Well, what is stopping that rug pull after 24 hours when the money's released? That's
It's
one
a
of the
great
things
question.
I noticed that always kind of bugged me, and I was like, this makes absolutely no sense and protects nobody. So how, what are you guys doing different, or how do you feel about those things?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's an interesting one because it is tricky to, when you're conducting a raise for a project, to tell them you're not going to send funds for a certain amount of time. So there's definitely a lot of chatting in the background with it. I think that 1 day, like you say, it doesn't do a great deal. It doesn't protect anyone from anything. So I think a good way to do it these days is to give a staggered approach to distributing funds. So rather than giving it all, after you receive NFTs or after a day, kind of give it out, vest it to them over a monthly period. And that way, it gives a little bit more protection. And also in terms of contracts as well, we're pretty specific with our contracts, so we make sure that it covers a lot and it covers our users in the case there is any deceitful activity or anything that goes wrong.
Yeah. And are there any expectations as far as, let's say, marketing? For example, if the team promises they're going to commit, I don't know, 50% to their mint to marketing efforts, what role, like how far do you guys go in actually enforcing that? Because I can tell you, like Seedify, who they've updated their terms recently, they actually have in their agreement now severe penalties if it's up to their discretion, which I don't like, because their discretion can mean anything and depends who you get.
Correct.
But if they feel at their discretion you're not honoring your marketing plans fast enough or with enough budget, they'll penalize and withhold these staggered funds from you. So I guess, again, just to see, how are you guys doing it different and what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, definitely. I think that at their discretion, like you say, is a very loose term. It's quite a grey area. It essentially means they can do whatever they want in the best interest of their investors, which I think is a good thing. But I think at the same time, Seedify has a bit of a luxury, especially with being one of the larger pads in the space. So they have a lot more push when it comes to putting those kind of terms in. We certainly do have terms when it comes to marketing and expectations and also on our part as well, what we will offer and what we need to meet. So that's where it kind of comes into having trust in the project that you're listing as well. So as much as you have all of these contracts together, if anything goes wrong, it's still a massive process to go through any of that. If they're not willing to kind of give funds back straight away, or if they're not willing to work with you, there's a massive process behind it and legality. So I think it really comes down to building a relationship with the project before they list. making sure that they are real people and that you can verify that they are through KYC and also a company KYC. I think that like you said, the vesting of funds is a really important part to give it to them in pieces. So I think that we're not so much doing anything too differently, but we're doing a combination of a lot of things we've seen on launch pads to make sure that we kind of cover all of our bases at the same time without putting a project in a position where they feel like they're just going to be manipulated.
And do you guys have a rough number of, how many you have upcoming, let's say in the next 2-3 months?
Yeah, sure. So at the moment, we've got 4 projects which will be coming out. They're all keen to go, but at the same time, they're a little bit hesitant because of the market. So it's a bit of a tricky time, for INOs as well as it is for IDOs. There's a lot of projects in the pipeline, especially at the moment. There's new ones popping up every day, but making sure that, we're giving them the best advice and making sure that it's a good time to list as well. Because at the moment, I especially feel that projects that are going to market that don't have strong backing, that don't have the right socials or the right marketing, are really just, setting themselves up to fail. So,
yeah, we unfortunately have to agree. For example, our end of days project has been sitting idly by and, losing a bit of momentum. And then we have to re-ramp that momentum up once we feel the market has recovered. But it's definitely taking longer than we would have liked. And we would have liked to be in the middle of our tournament at this point in time. But we all think the same. We think, sure, we can launch it. We still have the people, but most likely we're not going to get, anywhere near the sales we would get if we just keep waiting and keep, enhancing it a little bit here and there, tweaking some things. But it does suck because you build up all this momentum to a peak, which is where you want to drop, and then you lose it and you kind of have to do it all over again. So.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and it's really tricky and it's a bit of a balancing act to get it right because, especially once you take something to market, you can't take it back out of market. And like you say, you built this following up, you've been building, in a lot of cases, a lot of projects we talk to have been building for 12 months plus, right? And so they get to this point where they feel that they need to go ahead, but then it backfires and there's no way to pull that back. So I think that when you have a strong product, it's better to wait and rebuild that community rather than go to market early and risk then not being able to pull that back or remarket it because it's tanked.
And then, so Heroes and Villains, how did you come across the project?
How did I come across the project? It was introduced to me by one of our Corestarter members. So got it sent across and did a little bit of research into it and found it quite fascinating. So then ended up on a call with the team and went over everything and kind of fell in love with the project. And I do have to say I am slightly addicted to buying your NFTs. So I've bought a few many over the last few weeks. I get a little bit addicted to watching them evolve as they go through. So it's definitely got something.
Yeah, so we've been known to create addicts in the space. The problem is, we need a few more addicts, but other than that, I'm always shocked that nobody else kind of uses this evolution mechanic. I was shocked when nobody used it last year after Whelps was a sellout in one day. That was the big selling point. They didn't have a lot of numbers as far as Twitter or Discord. And nobody really ever did take it and copy it. Like there's a lot of people who have a one-time deal. Like, sure, you have an egg, and then one time if you reveal it, okay, here's what's in the egg. But nobody ever did this staggered staged approach. And I don't know, we'll ask your thoughts. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, is it hard to do in terms of a development point of view?
Well, not once you crack the secret, but no, it depends if you're doing it. Yeah, if you're doing it on chain, it would be more difficult, and there's certain cons to it. For example, you wouldn't be able to plant like ultra rares. You would not be able to remove duplicates. Like there's certain things that would be a problem, and we actually, embraced those with the original Whelps because they were 100% on chain, and everybody can go look at that code. And it's something anybody can copy, right? Because it's open source code, contract code. Yet even for that one, nobody copied it. And we got some tech people asking us like, but how does this work? And to us, it seemed fairly straightforward and obvious. It's, simple Solidity contract code. As far as heroes and villains, since we were new to Solana, we decided not to pursue doing it on chain, which in retrospect was a very wise decision because Solana turned out to be a much higher learning curve with a lot less resources available as far as knowledge. So that one is off chain. But to do it off chain is not hard at all. I mean, I would think most people in the space could figure it out if they wanted to. So yeah, I just find it odd because people that do find it, that do get in, seem to love that aspect, and it keeps them wanting to buy more when their evolutions finish, and yet no other projects do it. So I don't know if it's people don't understand it. They overestimate maybe the effort involved. They think it's extremely complicated, perhaps, or they just think the market doesn't like it. I don't know what their thoughts are, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll be that the market doesn't like it because,
Yeah.
like you said, I mean, it's sold well when you did well, so it went really well. So I don't think it'll be anything to do with the market. I think it'll be that assumption that it's too hard or too much to do, so they don't even bother looking into it. It's much easier for these guys to create these NFTs and kind of just go and do a straight sale.
Yeah, I think that's where kind of, MasterBrews always talks so much about innovation, and I think that's really one of the keys of our success is that we don't innovate because we have to. We innovate because we want to. So a lot of these projects, like you just said, well, they know, at least prior to the current market crash, they know it's probably going to go, right? They don't have to come up with all of these, quite frankly, fun and community building and value adding things. They just say, well, I'll throw out another PFP project, or I'll throw out another simple quote unquote simple, play to earn game that's coming Q3 2027 or whatever. So I don't need to innovate. I don't need to worry about employing evolution or whatever that innovation may be.
Yeah. By the way, Penguin, now you got to refer
I think
to
it also
all things.
comes down to the.
I was just going to say you got to refer to everything as play, earn, and own. You can no longer use play to earn.
Play, earn, and own. click to earn.
Play,
as I
earn,
like
and
to
own. The next step. I was just going to say that I think it comes down to the product that they're building behind the NFTs as well. Like, obviously, you guys are putting a lot of thought into it and put a lot of care into it, whereas these guys are just slapping something together with some basic mechanics behind it to try and get a quick sale and some traction behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. On Solana as well, I will mention if they're using Candy Machine, which still a bulk of them are, or if they're going with Launchpads who just use a straight up their own program, that doesn't allow some of the needed, technical aspects. Like the number one would be setting a custom metadata URI. Most of them just pointed to an Arweave folder, right? And then when there's the reveal, okay, they update that, they switch it. But that wouldn't work if you're doing this evolution. You have to have a middleman. So I guess there is, at least for Solana, it's a little bit more difficult to set up. On Ethereum and Polygon, it's a lot easier, but
yeah.
Right.
So we'll have to ask, a couple of easy questions for you. Hero or villain?
I don't know. I feel like you're more inclined to say hero, but I would say villain, I think.
Good man. We have too many heroes in this world.
That's it. And I'm no hero. Trust me when I say that.
Do you have a favorite out of the ones you've got personally? Do you have a favorite yet? And maybe you can show it to the audience if you have it handy.
I don't have it handy on this computer. It's on my other work computer. But my favorite would probably have to be the first one I got. I would say that was what really hooked me in. So I can't remember exactly what it is, but I do know that the background is the Mayan. I know that the background's the Mayan temple. So
okay.
Yeah, right. That's one that people are hunting for right now because it still has its ultra rare to reveal. So
really, there you go. Well, I don't have
that. So one less Mayan tempo that doesn't have it for everyone out there. There's less competition, and you would have had to have a female as well on the Mayan temple. So
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Not quite there.
But we're getting there. Every day we're inching closer to the final ultra rares because, some people just keep coming back and minting, day after day or week after week. And as soon as theirs run out, they promise themselves and promise the community they will not buy another one, and then they buy another one.
Yeah.
Yep, and I've fallen into that trap. I tend to be buying 2 a week at the moment, and it's exactly that. I said to myself, I won't buy anymore. I'll stop there. And then Solana dipped in price, and I went, it's a bit of a bargain. I'll get a couple more. And then Solana dipped again, and I thought, I'll get a couple more.
It's that Mark McKenna crack.
Yeah.
But you know what? Speaking objectively, I think it is a bargain, because at 1.5 sol and a little bit less for pass holders, if you're comparing it, not 1 sol equals 1 sol, but if you're still comparing it to the US dollar, which a lot of people do, you're talking like somewhere around the range of $70, sometimes $60 to buy an incredible piece of art. So even if there was nothing beyond the art, that's a really cheap price, like for art. But then you got it, there's a game coming, like you've seen progress in the game. There's a lot more on the roadmap, and past things have been delivered, like the community comic book airdrop, and you can see like previews of the next sidekicks and henchmen. And so I kind of feel like, yeah, even objectively, if I was not involved in this, and even if I didn't like comic books, if I look at the overall like comparison to other projects on Solana, the ones that are trying to do like 2 and 3 sol now, well, this definitely does feel like a bargain to me and feels like really cheap in dollars.
Crypto bingo is yeah. I think that's British for forget it. I'm minting another one after this. So Mutsy's got one thing on the brain. But yeah, we gotta mint another heroes and villains. Man, it's been a minute since I've minted a hero and villain. It might be time as well. So
yeah, I have quite a few of them, so I don't want to risk getting the ultra rares from people, so I try not to mint. And last time I had some free
actually, that's very true. You're all banned from buying them. Only we can buy them.
That's right.
So I swept the floor a little bit once publicly and let the community know. Asked them if they wanted to snipe anything before I did. And the only reason I did it is because I found I had a Geno pet lying in my wallet that I totally didn't remember, and it was worth about 50 sol or whatever it was, 45 sol. So I'm like, oh great. I'm like, I have no need for this thing. I'm never going to move. And so I sold the Geno pet and took all those funds and just bought a bunch more of the different backgrounds I didn't have or the different powers I didn't have. So yeah, I feel better doing that, because minting, I'm like, if I get something really rare, really cool, or happen to hit an ultra rare, it's not great. It's not a great look, and we don't want any of that. But also, I guess if I did, I've told people we'll find a way to give it to the community.
Right.
That's what I was going to say.
The other part of me, the dark villain side, is like, no, keep it.
Yeah,
there's the villain.
It's random. It's all on chain, provable that you couldn't have. Lost my train of thought. You couldn't have rigged it for yourself. So
no, I can. I'm the one person who can.
Oh well, okay. Well, now you can't do it.
You can just throw yourself under the bus if you get one.
Yeah, nobody on the team has access. Nobody else in the world can, but I can switch things around if I so choose. So
that's fantastic.
Would absolutely.
I'll be minting in about 1 hour if you can fix that up for me.
Yeah. That's funny.
So yeah, I guess you mentioned also you guys. I don't know if the INO that ties to the marketplace, or that's totally separate feature or concept.
Yeah, it's totally separate. Yeah, so they're completely separate platforms that we're going to have, but we will hopefully be tying them together. The projects that we do INO, we would love for them to move straight onto our marketplace, because then it also gives a platform for our users to trade them straight away if they wish to. So definitely separate platforms. We want them to tie in together closely.
And then because you guys do cross-chain IDOs, is your marketplace going to initially start off cross-chain? Is that going to be later down the road, or?
Nah, so that's later down the road. So right now we are only supporting Solana INOs. I mean, it's dependent on the project as well, because some projects do pre-mint their NFTs and it's just a placeholder sale. So we could do that, but we're going to steer away from it and just purely focus on INOs on Solana at the moment.
So Can we discuss that term a little bit? INO, in terms of for those who are not familiar, initial node offering, but I have to say that's about where my familiarity with it ends. So what are some of the benefits to the blockchain, to the individual, to the launch pad? What are some benefits of an INO?
Yeah, so with an INO, a lot of the time with NFT collection, there's obviously, various rarities, whether it's done in stars or levels. Say you've got 1 to 5 star NFTs. When you're buying them at an INO, it's a mint with a random drop. So down the line, say, you've minted a 5-star NFT for 1.5 Sol, they could end up selling a lot higher than that. So rather than waiting for them to be on the marketplace and trying to trade and flip them, you can essentially get them all at the same price. So obviously it is a bit of a gamble, the same as everything when it comes to crypto and investing. You're never certain that you're gonna get anything good, but it gives you the best opportunity to get into the market, at a cheaper price. And especially when you're going into, highly sought mints as well, if you can manage to get something out of that, generally you'll do pretty well.
Very cool. Very cool. So how does that differ from, a project, say, really any blockchain project, where a project where I may purchase an NFT and I'm looking for certain traits, right? And it's a kind of a crapshoot in terms of the traits that I may. So is that a similar concept, or how does that vary?
Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So, for example, trying to mint an ultra rare, right? There are certain traits that you're going to get which may lead you down the road toward an ultra rare, which in theory I have the same odds of minting. The odds of minting an ultra rare are the same for anybody who's going to be minting a Heroes and Villains right now. So if I go and mint from an INO, is that not a similar concept in terms of I have the same odds of minting, or am I missing the point completely?
No, I guess it is the same sort of odds that it comes down to. Everything is chance. So I think that the easiest way to look at an INO is it's an opportunity, especially to get into the market if it's a sought after project and it's going to be a sellout. Because if it's a sellout, quickly, then the only place you're going to be able to get anything is on that secondary market. And then when it comes to NFT sales, it's not the same as token sales. It's completely supply and demand. You can have the two same NFTs listed on the same marketplace for a completely different price. So, if for whatever reason everyone in that community decides they're gonna screw everyone over, and they're gonna say, all right, this is the floor price for a 2-star monster, and it's 2 times the min, then there's no way to get into it without paying a ridiculous amount of money.
So I'm trying to see if I understand it right too. Then is your INO then just reserving supply that it will only release after the rest of the mints are on the marketplace?
So generally with an INO, it depends on the project. So whether it's an exclusive mint on, say, Corestarter, or whether there's a mint on 3 or 4 launch pads. Generally, a lot of them are at the moment pre-minted. So what happens is the sale will be conducted, and then 24 hours later, the project who's giving out the NFTs will then randomly drop all of these users an NFT. So the way that we try and do it is, if we can keep it exclusive, then everything will be sent at the time of the sale. So when the user mints that NFT, it gets sent straight to their wallet.
Okay, I guess I'm missing something too. I don't see how that's different than a regular mint. So from what I'm understanding, right, you send everyone theirs at the same time. I guess if it's a quick sellout of a project, there would be no difference, right? So this would only affect ones that take longer to sell?
Yeah, I guess so in a way, but then an INO really is just an initial NFT offering. So it's just an initial mint. So project, right? You haven't really gone through any other sources. You've done the mint directly on your website. A lot of these projects don't do that. So the only way to get access to these sales is through launch pads.
Got it.
So you're a little bit more of an extremity compared to a lot of projects, because, say, another one that we've just done, Eyes Per Chain, the only places that you can mint that were on us, Solanium, also Magic Eden, and one other. And then once those were minted, the only way to get those was on the secondary market.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, so it's an NFT launch through a launch pad. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in that vein, then, what do you feel would set yours apart from, for example, Magic Eden's Launchpad or Solport's or any of those?
I think the main thing that sets it apart is just the community, because a lot of our community, when it comes to accessing these on Solanium or other, if they're on Magic Eden, it's not too hard because obviously that's a public launch place. But then there's a lot of users that go to those platforms. So the chances of you getting something are very slim. Whereas with us, ours is very much based around our community and we run it the same way as our IDOs. So our tier members, they get first access to these NFTs. So rather than the public being able to come in and swoop them up, what happens is users need to be staking their Corestarter. Our tier 6 will get pre-access for 4 hours before the sale starts, and then it will open up to the rest of our tiers. And then after 24 hours, that will then move to anyone else on Corestarter's platform.
Okay, so in effect, it works exactly like an IDO, which places have tiers. Like I don't know if Seedify does anymore. I guess they might still have tiers, but places like Blockpad or these other ones, yeah, they all had tiers based on how much you were staking of the coin, right? So
yeah, exactly right. And so that's one thing with a lot of these other launch pads, say even with Solanium, you need to be staking a lot of tokens, and Seedify too, you need to be staking a lot of tokens to access their tiers. Whereas for us, it's very different. We don't just base it on the number of tokens you're staking. It's based on the number of tokens you're staking and the number of days you've been staking for. So best example for our tier 1, you could either stake 10,000 tokens for 1 day, or you could stake 1,000 tokens for 10 days.
okay, so if you're even if
those.
you're a small investor, but you've been there since the beginning, well, then you're treated like someone who comes in new who just throws a lot of money in. I like that. I
Correct,
think
that's
that's
right.
great.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's
Yeah.
where we've tried to base it around, because so many of the users who go to launch pads and can't afford to buy big stacks of tokens are always left with a lottery round or really small allocation. So that's where, Corestarter is targeted at the small investor to try and give them opportunities to work their way up and get the same investments that others can, because it only takes, especially in a bull run, it only takes 1 or 2 good investments to really take off, to kind of set you up. Someone can start with a small number of tokens in tier 1. They can hold for a long time, work their way into tier 3, tier 4. They get that one good allocation that'll do really well, and then that sets them in a position to be able to invest that money to then go further.
Mm-hmm. So how do you handle, is it first come, first serve? Or let's say you have a mint with, I don't know, 2,000 supply, and you have 3,000 of your Corestarter holders who are staked and interested in it. How do you determine who gets their shot at it?
Yeah, sure. So that is a bit of a tricky one. So with our IDOs, it is a lot easier because the entire raise, say if it's 100K raise, is split amongst our registered tier members as a guaranteed allocation. So they're all guaranteed to buy what they want from it. With the INO, there's obviously only a limited supply, like you say. So if we've got 500 pieces and we've got 1,000 users who want to buy, that's where it is a bit of a first come, first serve. So our tier 6, as part of their benefits, will get access to that pre-sale. So they'll still be able to go and mint their tokens or mint their NFTs. But then after that, when it opens to the rest of the tiers, it will be a first come, first serve style.
Okay. But the good news is, for at least those people, they don't have to grind for waitlist spots, which is, become the trend in the space. And they know if you have enough supply, it's great. They're guaranteed a spot, right? And if it's something where the supply is split, they'll just have to, I guess, pay attention and try to be first.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, at the moment too, what we're trying to do is pay attention to how many people are investing, because when it comes to securing the INOs, we try and get as many as we can to make sure that our entire community would be able to mint at least one. And we do put limits on minting in the first round as well, to make sure that people don't just snap them all up. So that gives everyone a little bit more of a chance to be able to get involved.
Yeah. And then I guess that's important to know as well, because if you're approaching a project to get them on board, to figure out the supply, the project wants to know you're going to sell it out, right? So they don't want to give you 3,000 of them if people are only going to buy, let's say, 1,000, because then they're stuck, and then that derails everything.
Yeah, that's it. It has a little bit of a snowball effect because they've accounted for what they're going to sell across their launch pads, and then obviously what they're going to raise. And generally, when they've set up their INO or IDO, section, then they've already planned ahead where those funds are going to go and how they're going to be used. So it does affect the project quite a lot.
Yeah. Cool.
Interesting.
Let's switch it up something back to a normal, easy question. What is your favorite Solana project that has come out in, I don't know, the past month, let's say?
In the past month, that's a tricky one.
I call them the easy ones, but they're often not easy.
Give me 2 seconds. I've got it here somewhere.
Got it. Got
One that I am keeping a close eye on. What's that? Sorry?
No, I was going to make a joke. Go ahead.
Go ahead, make the joke. I'm ready for it.
I was just going to say you got your big list of projects in front of you, like pulling out your big book, dusting off which Solana project do I like today?
There's not enough time in the day for it to get dust on it.
Yeah.
Penguin, someone's trying to buy your cat, by the way. I don't know if we missed him, but he's offering 100 ETH for your cat.
Oh, I saw that, and I was like, "Were we just talking about some cat NFT?" And I totally spaced out, or what? No, cat.
I think he wants your cat. Now,
all right,
here's the question: would you sell your cat for 100 ETH?
I don't want to offend any cat owners out there, but yes.
I was going to say, I'm sad I don't have a cat right now because I would have given that for 50.
I will state I will not sell my dog for 100 ETH. And that is the difference between dog owners and cat owners.
I
wouldn't sell mine for 500 ETH.
Not at today's price anyway.
Not at today's price. On cue, she's back. There you go. I got 4 of them. If she was my only one, then maybe, but I got 4 of them. So I gotta flip for profit at some point. That's why I bought 4.
This is true. You got to hustle in this market.
Yeah.
And then we have Bachi Balam. I don't know what he's talking about when he says nobody cares. I don't know if nobody cares about buying your cat, perhaps.
Maybe at that time we were talking about INOs and different rarities, so maybe it's that nobody's interested. I don't know. I ignored that comment for a reason.
I like to read all the comments, and maybe he had something more interesting to say, but as he didn't comment further, I guess he did not.
Well, so back to your big book of Solana projects that doesn't have time to get dust on it.
Yeah, so one I've been keeping my eye on at the moment is an NFT project called Primates. So that's had a lot of growth rapidly. So keeping an eye on that and looking forward to seeing what that does.
I'm going to imagine that has something involving apes, since it's primates for primates.
It's a good guess, and you might be on the money. Lucky it's not $1 million question.
I see so few ape-related collections out there, so it's really, really magical when they come along.
Well, that I guess is a question. In your mind, what sets this ape project apart from others, or is it just that they're unlucky enough to share a name?
Sorry, I cut out for about 30 seconds there.
Oh, I was just asking, why this ape project as opposed to a different one?
I think that at the moment, just compared to a lot of projects that are popping up on Solana, it's got a really strong following, and there is some utility behind the token as well, and it's real world utility. So I think that's going to be the main difference with things that tell the tales of time, is that they're going to not only have blockchain related utility, but real world utility too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tend to agree.
I was going to say, I think we can't show it yet because it's not ready, but we can announce, since you're on here, that one of our special sidekicks, the exclusive ones, people already know there's an exclusive whelp, there is an exclusive duck, and now they'll know there's an exclusive Corestarter character. And even Jay doesn't know what it is.
Ooh, no, I do not know at all. This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's already in pencils, and I believe Mark will be inking it in the very near future. And then maybe we'll drop it on one of our Heroes and Villains Master Brew Minute days.
Yeah.
But yes, it's can you take a wild guess what kind of character it would be?
For Corestarter, I would have absolutely no idea. I wouldn't want to guess and do any shame to it.
Penguin, any guesses?
I've got a guess. Yeah, it's half a joke guess, but would it be like like a businessman holding a briefcase and a bag of money or something?
No, it would not.
To
That would not
signify
make a very good
investment.
sidekick.
Well, it could. You got your bag man. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like your lawyer shows up.
That would fit in well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who can we? Crypto Bingo. Do you have any guess?
Mind the delay, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're on a delay.
Yeah, but time between the time it takes to get from here to there and back again, it's about 20 seconds. It's got to be walked.
There was someone once who told me, I forget what they told me. It was some type of support service, and I had to call them for some reasons. And we all know customer support is 99% terrible. And the reason they told me, I was accessing some UI that was slow on their end. They were based in Vancouver. I was based in Montreal. And they literally told me, well, sir, that's all the way across the country. Of course, it's going to be slow.
No,
I was like, yes, I don't think the internet cares.
No.
And she was just adamant. She was like, sir, if you were in Vancouver, you'll see it faster. But if you're in Montreal, that's pretty far. And I'm like, wow. Suffice to say, we didn't use that service very long.
This at least has a reason. It's got to go from StreamYard to Twitch and back again. StreamYard to Twitch and back again is probably a little bit further than Vancouver to Montreal, but yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And when I did look it up, if
you'd hope that wasn't on the script to read out for all of them.
Yeah.
And if I recall, they were hosting in North Virginia, so nothing to do with Vancouver. It wasn't like it's hosted out of their office.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, most of those data centers are somewhere in the northern U.S. anyways. That's funny. Well, Crypto Bingo does not have... Oh, here we go. Hot off the presses. Where's my cursor? Is the sidekick for Corestarter some sort of plant because it helps projects grow? That's what we call thinking outside of the box. I like it.
It's also what we call wrong.
That is definitely thinking outside of the
what
box.
we call wrong. So are you?
Are you? So no one will get it. We'll get to see it. You'll all get to see it when it's ready.
Oh, that's quite.
If I had to have one guess, having the word core in there, I'd have to guess it was some big muscly man with a huge six pack.
Oh,
it is not. So,
and this is why I didn't guess.
Yeah, we will hope you guys like what we came up with, but I'll have to say it was the design of another Jay DeFoy, who's the penciler. So it was his creation, and we will see what you think from J to J,
J to J. And I'm a J. I'm Jason, but close enough.
Oh, yeah.
I get called Jason almost every single day, and I don't know why.
Well, I could take a guess, but yeah, it's and I rarely get called Jay. Yeah, I rarely get called Jay. Yeah. What exciting conversation for all
Everyone
you.
Just assumes that Jay can't be a real name, but unfortunately, my parents were that simple.
Well, I get called Kevin all the time, and I don't know why. There's no V in my name. There's no N in my name.
Kevin. People just read the first letter. Yeah, I get Justin. I get that's really it. Jason or Justin. No T in my name. So is it going to be a sidekick or a henchman? Are you allowed to reveal that? It's got to be a sidekick, right?
I want it to be a henchman, but we have already a list of henchmen. Oh,
bless you.
And yes, it has ended up a sidekick. So unfortunately, because Jay has now revealed he prefers villains, but the Corestarter character will be a sidekick.
That's right. That
That's all
seems
right. I'm
better.
sure the
for Grant.
community are more heroes than villains.
They usually are, which is odd to me.
Although our villains are, I don't know if this is still true. For a long time, we had far more active villains than we did active heroes. It may have evened out at this point, but that was
I
interesting.
remember when it flipped, and the other thing is we sold more hero passes than villain passes.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
So we have more silent. Our heroes are silent, and our villains are loud. That's probably, that makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah, but
It does
everyone who
make
was
sense, doesn't
adamantly
it?
a heroes only person, they're starting to come over. Like Mr. Crypto Bingo, I remember once was only into heroes, and now he's been getting more into villains. So
Who doesn't love a good villain, though? Come on, let's be serious.
yeah. Well, look at the facts. Villains always have a much deeper, much more intricate origin story. And villains usually, other than some like terrible teams of villains, usually one villain can only get defeated by like a whole army of heroes. So you'd also say that the villains are rather stronger. Um, there's exceptions, but for the most part, most heroes are in some sort of team, and most villains are solo.
Yeah,
It's a good rule of thumb. I like it.
Yeah.
true. Now I'm just
All
trying
right.
to
Well,
think of a villain
let's
team.
go with another easy one to wrap up a bit. Favorite, I guess, comic related, either TV show or movie, or one of each.
Comic related. Sheesh. Comic related. I would have to say, comic related would have to be Iron Man. I do love Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting. I never hear anyone pick that one, but
Really?
I do
No,
think
I like.
I do think they cast the perfect actor for it. So I cannot picture
Yeah.
a different guy being Iron Man.
No way. And I think it really just brought it to life so well. And I think that's why, definitely, it's hard to go past it.
Yeah. That's
And how about you, Mr. J Penguin?
My favorite all-time hero?
No, your favorite either movie or TV show, or one of each if you want to spoil the audience.
My favorite all-time. Geez, you'd think this is something I'd have considered before. My favorite all-time hero movie. Boy, you know what? Iron Man would be up there, but to take that would be a cop-out. I'm gonna say. Wow, dead airs. I want to say something from the Thor. There was that really funny Thor movie, or is that the one about to come out? I think Thor 3.
No, you're thinking of Thor Ragnarok, where the hammer pulls him off.
And oh no! You know what? I'm thinking way too hard. I'm going the wrong way. For some reason, I got Marvel on the brain, Marvel MCU on the brain. Logan would have to be at least as of a recent release, would have to be my most favorite superhero.
Interesting. I guess
really like Logan.
I will go with TV shows over the movies. And I haven't watched season 3 yet, which just came out. But The Boys, to me, was a masterpiece. Extremely well done. And anyone who hasn't watched it, I would highly suggest it. It's a much more realistic take on what heroes would actually be like, in my opinion.
I agree.
And then, I liked a lot of
it was funny. My housemate said that to me yesterday.
Yeah, there's a lot of indie hero films, and a lot of them are great. There's some animated ones like Invincible, which are also, spectacular. So, I tend to like the shows that take a more sarcastic look at them, I guess, or a different look at them, as opposed to just like your clean-cut hero and your dastardly villain, and the villain always loses because he ends up revealing his plan to the hero. So I prefer to go outside that whole niche. The Marvel movies, a lot of them are great, and I'll watch them all, but the problem is, being a comic book fan for so long, there's so much they can't get into or don't have time to get into, and I feel the TV shows have more time to build up your characters and really kind of get you more invested in them. So,
did you ever see Super with Rainn Wilson and Elliot Page?
Yes, I have.
That's a good one.
I have not.
That's like
and then some of them are difficult for people to get into, like Doom Patrol or the Umbrella Academy. But once you get like really deep, they start getting really good. But even Umbrella Academy, like people raved about it. It took me like maybe 8 episodes before I was like, okay, now I like it. So if you only watch 1 or 2 episodes, you'll probably give up on a lot of those series.
Got it.
To be honest, I'm a little bit more of a closet Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z nerd myself.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I was a little too late to Pokemon. It just, I'm a year or two older than when it first took by storm in terms of the TV series and trading card game, but I definitely got into Pokemon Go when that first came out. It came out a week before my birthday that year. I guess the anniversary is coming up actually, but a month away, and 6 years already. And I got so hardcore into Pokemon Go, so I can relate to a certain extent.
We have a question from Mr. Mitski.
Yeah.
So maybe pop that one up, Penguin, and we can answer.
So to set the scene, he's only got 1 villain overall. I believe he won it as part of MasterBrews Mounties, our weekly Twitter challenge that you can win a free NFT every week. And he's wondering, does he need to buy a hero and stake both? And certainly you don't need to buy a hero. You're welcome to stake the individual villain, but when staking 1 of each, you do start to earn some of these bonuses that we have when it comes to our stake.
That bonus is called duality, and it will then get you an extra percentage on what you're earning if you have at least 1 hero and 1 villain. So, I mean, that's your choice. But if you're looking forward to the game and the tokens and using the tokens, or even exchanging them for the public token at some point, then if you want to maximize that, you can definitely get 1 other character. If you really want to maximize it, you can buy the passes. You can get 1 of each race. You can get 1 of each background. So duality is the simple one. That's number 4. And then, the rest, the Dapper Duck collab bonus, that was something we did. I'll admit our hopes were a little higher than, the results that came, but sometimes that happens with collabs. And we tried to vet out good teams who had good ideas, who kind of matched, long-term planning and wanted to release a bunch of stuff. They were hot at the time. They'd sold out. I think their floor price was like 10x. And unfortunately, it didn't bring us the results we wanted, but we still like to honor what we said. So that bonus remains, as well as their, very dapper duck looking sidekick is going to be still in the game. And, people have asked us, they're like, wouldn't you rather use that slot trying to find like a new collab or something that'll bring more? And we're like, no, we want to honor our word, and it doesn't matter what resulted from it. We tried, we took a shot, it didn't work out like we hoped, but we're still going to have the character in the game, and it's what we said we would do. So
that's right.
It is a very dapper looking duck, though,
isn't it?
Yeah. Did we ever show the one, Penguin, the actual sidekick one?
We did not.
So that's one we have to show. That one is ready, not with color yet, but it is inked, I believe. So
so we could show that the next
Heroes and Villains Day.
Next Heroes and Villains Day, which will be Thursday. But for now, is there anything, Jay, you want me to highlight? Any websites you want me to go to? Anything you want me to show?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the main website for us is just Corestarter.com, and that has links to everything you need. And we also do have a link tree as well, which has links to all of our Telegram, Twitter, Discord, everything. So
cool. So that's simple. Corestarter.com. You can go through here, apply for IDO, apply for INO. I like.
And you can go straight to our.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and you can go straight to our app as well. So in that top right, you can follow it through to our actual IDO platform too.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. So yeah, so for those of you who have not checked out Corestarter, definitely the time to do so is right after this show. And I'll put a link in the comments here. And yeah, very, very cool.
Maybe Penguin, click on Launchpad. I just want to
You
see.
do want to stake some tokens and try and access IDOs and INOs when that up.
Oh, sorry, you cut out a little bit for me, Jay. What was that?
I did. I was just going to say, and for any of the community that do want to actually stake tokens to get involved in IDOs and INOs, so there's none in feature. There is a couple of IDOs in upcoming there. But now is a really good time to buy tokens and stake them because, like everything else, it's in a mad discount. And, you know, like we were saying, it's the number of tokens you have and the number of days you're staking for. So even if you start now, in 30 days, you can almost guarantee that you would be able to grow your tier score.
Okay.
And there you go. You have Mr. Bingo has bought some and staked it. Really easy.
Beautiful. Yeah. Great work, Crypto Bingo.
Yeah.
Maybe click on the upcoming or the completed, Jason, so we can see some of the ones that are so completed. I know you guys had the Esper, right? Was like the main one you spoke about. Would that be
which one?
These are IDOs. Would we be able to see where Esper is in the INOs? Is that on here?
So INOs is on a separate platform. So that's on nft.corestarter.com.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've built a separate platform for each one.
Got it. More relevant to our interests. Here we go. All right.
So we don't have it. We don't. So we've got ended. We don't currently have anything listed as upcoming. Just waiting to announce until the time is right.
Okay.
Cool. And how did Esper do for people wondering, who are watching? Was this an exclusive one? Was this one shared? I think you mentioned this one was shared, right?
Yeah, that's right. This one was shared with us, Solanium, and Magic Eden. So a lot of the volume went through Magic Eden on that one. And there was a little bit of controversy because they didn't quite highlight to us that Magic Eden whitelisters got a discount on the NFTs as well, which our members did not. So there was some confusion there for a little while. But yeah, it went pretty well. I mean, for our first sale, and especially conducting it as the market was going down, we're pretty happy with it. So.
And did you guys sell out the supply they gave you?
No, I didn't quite sell out. I think we sold around 70%.
Okay.
Very cool.
This actually looks like, I assume it might be a card game. Might be something to check out. It looks like it could be fun.
Yeah.
The characters are cards, but it is actually going to be a little bit more of an RPG as well. So this particular project is backed by Alameda Research, Crypto.com, and a couple of others too, Huobi Ventures. So it's got some rather large backers behind it.
Cool. And I love how detailed their pages. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to put more and more detail into the pages at the moment. We're trying to make sure that, not only when we're marketing the project, but when users are going in there, they can see as much detail on that as possible and try and give team details as well where we can.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yeah, we were talking recently about how you were saying various that, doxing certainly has its place, but is not necessarily the end all be all. But I do have to say I like how it's laid out here. Yeah. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a final 5 minutes. So any last words? Not last words in your life, but last words on the show.
Last words on the show. I'm not invited back for another one.
That's right. That's it. Final. You could be our first repeat guest. There you go. Come back next week.
There you go. Beautiful. Maybe when that Corestarter Sidekicks release, we can do a little kickoff.
That's right. That's right.
Beautiful.
But
yeah, look, in terms of last words, there's not really too much to say. We covered a lot here. It's been great being on the show, and thank you for having me. I mean, what I would just encourage is that, at the moment, especially that users who are investing, just be cautious. Obviously, the market is up and down all the time, so always invest within your means and make sure that you're not going out of your comfort zone, because everything you invest does have to be something that you're willing to lose, and it's something that we see a lot in our community with frustration with past IDOs. So I spend time in there, and we all spend time talking to the community and trying to educate and make sure that they're in the best position to invest well. So if you're interested in IDOs or INOs on the platform, come across. I'll probably be in the chat. Ask any questions. We're pretty active, and we always try and make sure that we're out there and talking to the community.
So any plans, speaking of community and talking, any plans to not necessarily ditch Telegram, although I'm an advocate for that, but any plans to move into Discord, given the NFT space is a lot more involved in Discord?
Yeah, correct. So we do have our Discord up and running. It's been up and running for a while, but we were mainly using it when we had our beta testing and for troubleshooting and for the community to chat a little bit when they had issues. But we're definitely looking to develop it and upgrade it. And we're also looking to add, now that we have this INO platform, with partners that we have with NFTs, to create exclusive channels with access points where users will have to be, holding Corestarter and holding NFTs to get into there. There'll be special giveaways, access to seed round sales, everything like that. So definitely Discord is on the development, because I think it's going to be a crucial part moving forward in terms of the crypto space, because a lot of users are starting to move on to it. I think at first, like you say, Telegram is highly used, but it's slowly fading away and more users are going to Discord.
Yeah, I can admit I only open Telegram for talking to two people, which is yourself and Corestarter and Chainlink. And that's only because I like both of you guys. Otherwise, no Telegram here.
That's all right. We can move the chat to Discord if you want. I am in your group.
Okay. So then I'll only have one left to get out of Telegram.
Right. Your mission will almost be complete.
Yes.
Beautiful. What about you guys? Did you have any last questions for me?
When heroes and villains? I know that answer is mostly on the market and mostly on us as well. But I figured people out there might want to know what's the plans with that. Is Origins going to be on the marketplace, or are we going to start from sidekicks and henchmen? Maybe just let them know what the plans look like. Although timeframes, yeah, it's totally on the market. We want to get rid of the current mint, and we want to. So from mints, we can probably tell them some of it would only start from sidekicks and henchmen. But as far as the marketplace, yeah, I don't know. Maybe let them know what your plans are.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely, like you mentioned, the mints will start from the sidekicks and henchmen's. But in terms of the marketplace, yes, we will definitely support Origins. So as soon as the marketplace is up and running, you will be the first project that goes on. So we'll definitely be doing a large feature and probably incorporate some kind of giveaway and a little bit of fun and trading competitions and everything. So definitely something to watch out for towards the end of the month or maybe early July.
Awesome.
And I know we've already discussed this, but please make sure for us, especially for us, that you don't cash like some marketplaces do, where it will not reveal the evolutions and they get stuck. Because that is definitely a problem we had at the beginning with other marketplaces. And I know we've already discussed this, so your tech team's good. But yeah, that's the number one thing for evolving collections is it sucks when people go to buy on secondary and think they're buying something and realize, oh, it's already finished evolving or it's way past that point. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do, right? Except try to work with marketplaces on those things. But
yeah, exactly right. And the good thing about our marketplace is we haven't white labeled one. We've built it ourselves and we're very confident in the product. So there won't be any issues like that.
Awesome.
And we've noticed Solana just overall as an ecosystem, they're better with things like that. Like even Phantom Wallet. Very rare is it ever like stuck and I have to reopen the wallet to see those things. Like I can update something right now and it'll reflect pretty much instantly, which is not the same in wallets on different chains. So that's a +1 for Solana in my view, which I don't always have a lot of +1s for them, but that's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Especially when they turn it off.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
perfect, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Thank you, Jay. And I bid thee a good night, I guess, by now. It's probably getting to
Oh, yeah.
nighttime.
It is very much night time. It's 9 p.m. here, so I'll be
Okay.
I'll be heading to the couch for a chamomile tea and a bit of reality TV.
There you go.
And I was gonna say, is it still a popular item over there, Tim Tams?
Tim Tams, I've not seen Tim Tams here at all. You would have to import them from Australia, I think. So
Oh,
definitely.
I thought you were in Australia for some reason.
No. So I'm not in Australia. So I'm from Australia, but I live in Dubai now. So I was in Australia when I was talking to you guys last time, but
Okay.
that was just
Right.
that was a quick visit home to see the family. So now I'm based in Dubai now.
How hot is it?
If I was in Australia right now, we would not be talking. It'd be 3 a.m.
I wondered. So we'll leave you with that then. How hot is it right now? In Dubai, how hot is it? Oh, maybe not.
I guess that is a question
I'll have to Google myself. All right. Well,
it has completely cut out.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Yeah.
It was just a nonsense question. I was asking how hot it was outside right now.
Hot. Yeah, it's getting hot. It's almost evacuation time. It's not only hot, it's starting to get very muggy or sticky as well. So you walk outside and you instantly just feel a little bit gross.
Yeah, same here. And we've had days here where it is hotter than Dubai, hotter than like Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, we're in Canada. That should not be the case.
It's like Montreal.
I agree.
Montreal in the middle of August. You can avoid that as well. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jay.
Yep.
Thanks for sticking it out with us. Thanks, Various, for your questions. I don't know why I'm the host now. Thanks, Various. Thanks.
You're always the host. I'm not always there. You have to always be on.
Little reversal of roles. Very nice. But yeah, it was awesome, guys. Thank you for having me, and I'll definitely be much more prepared for the questions next time. Unless you throw a few more curveballs.
They'll all be different.
Oh, don't worry. We don't even know what questions we're going to ask. So.
No.
On the fly.
We'll all be about the Arbitrum blockchain next time.
Yeah. And if you do want to share this with anyone, it's always up on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So
YouTube.com.
Easy access.
Yeah. MasterBrews on YouTube or MasterBrews NFT on Twitch.
Awesome. Send me the link on Telegram.
Yes. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.